talk about excavation and trenching safety in the construction industry. It's an area where there's been reports over the years of collapsed trenches that have actually caused serious injury and fatalities when it occurs. So we're going to go over. We're just going to kind of touch the surface of this, but I want to make sure that we hit the key points on it. The first thing we want to be aware of is you need to have a competent person on site, and that person has a knowledge, experience, and training in excavations and trenching. They also have to have the authorization to make any changes that are necessary to protect workers. So the first thing they're going to want to do is they're going to have to pre-plan the trenches. So how they're going to dig, and they have to call the 800 number to have all the underground utilities marked prior to starting. Once they have the utilities marked, they want to do what's called a soft dig. And that's not using equipment. That's trying to find where these utilities are, because it's not always 100% they can mark where they're at. So they'll do a soft dig, and then once they find the utilities, they can use their equipment. Once the trench is dug, the competent person has to determine what type of soil do they have. If he's not sure and they don't have any means to test the soil, then let's plan for the least cohesive soil, and that would be type C. If we do that, then we have type B and A covered. When you have a type C soil, you can slope the soil, or you have to use a trench box. When placing a trench box into a trench, you have to make sure that at least 18 inches of the trench box is above the surface level of the ground. That protects the workers from any type of equipment or materials, and also soil from falling in on top of them. Could be rocks as well. Anytime you have that, and another safety thing that you want to be aware of is make sure that everything is at least 2 feet back from the opening to that trench box. That's another way to protect the workers from material falling in. You have to have some method to get in and out of the trench. So a ladder would be in place, and that has to be inside the trench box. If you have a long lateral trench, then you have to have a location every 25 feet. And typically you'd find ladders, but you're also allowed to use ramps. You can use stairway systems as well, but it has to meet those standards. So when do we need to have a protective system? At 5 feet or greater in depth. We may even be required at 4 feet, depending on what the competent person says. We have to have ways to get in and out of the trench when we're at 4 feet in depth. So these are things that are very critical to protect the worker. We've got to make sure we know what we're doing. Thank you. Have a great day.